Imagine a place where the passion for soccer intertwines with the aroma of fresh espresso and trendy shops with old streets where fans have been debating the most popular game on the planet for generations.
We drank together, partied together, got into fights together.
Today we're heading to a place where soccer becomes part of the city's DNA and we'll meet different people. We'll show all sides of the life of soccer fans in Milan. Oh, I see an Ibrahimovic jersey. Do you like Ibrahimovic?
Yes, he's the best Inter player of all time. We missed out on him, much to our regret.
An old gangster from Ultras Inter, or a writer, a guy who looks like Eric Cantona. These are the stories of people living in one of Italy's largest cities. Stories of their lives and love for their clubs. In the stands, guys light flares, it's hard to breathe. I really started to suffocate. And I think to myself, but can you die after such a victory? This is the secret code of Italian soccer fans. Subscribe to the channel and promote this video with likes. Welcome to Milan. Yes, and before we start, subscribe to our Telegram channels. There we share our views on modern soccer, post rare photos, facts, and unusual videos related to the most popular game on the planet. And most importantly, in the pinned post of the Telegram channel Unseen Soccer, you'll find a link to a special promotion by following which you'll watch sports events with even more interest and thus support our community. Subscribe, links are in the description of this video, and now let's begin.
Hello.
So, friends, I'm currently in the northeast of Milan and heading to a very interesting meeting, which, in fact, I've been striving for a long time. I'm going to meet a man named Nino Ciccarelli, and he's one of the founders of the Ultra Movement Day. Inter, one of the founders of the Vikings group. And the meeting with him was really in question, but today he sent his number and said that today I'll be at this number and you can get to the final metro station, then transfer to a bus, and somewhere at the bus station, at some he named, a car will pick you up. I don't know who he's hiding from, but we'll talk to them about ultra culture, talk to them about soccer, talk to them about Inter, and talk to them about life in Milan in general. What's going on here?
Hi.
Nina, my name is Alex. How are you doing?
Let's sit down. I'm the founder of the Ultras group Vikings, and I manage the Inter stand. You can ask me anything you want.
To better understand who Nino Ciccarelli is, it's worth saying that his entire life is inextricably linked with the soccer club Inter. He is a highly respected person in the fan community and was at the origins of the famous Ultras group Vikings, which appeared back in 1984. He's now over 50 and he writes books and actively runs social media. But not so long ago, he served time in prison for a fight with Neapolitan fans in which one person died. Also in his biography are fights with police officers, driving under the influence, possession of weapons and drugs, tax evasion and other crimes. In general, Nino has a serious life baggage, and at the moment he is also under investigation in a case about the connections between Ultras and the Mafia, which began in September 2024. Remember yourself at the time when you founded the Ultras group Vikings? What has changed in you over the years?
When we founded the group, and that happened in 1984, we were young and we certainly had a lot more energy. And you know, the first 15 years of the group's existence, we just had a blast. Those were the best years. Values were different. Back then everyone was poor and everything was equal. No one had anything. We drank together, had fun together, got into fights together. Many generations have changed since then. But I think we managed to pass on these values to the young. And you might ask me about that story with the murder of a Mafia member by one of our leaders, so I'll say in advance that it has nothing to do with us. We are ultras, not mafiosi. It's important to understand that clearly.
It's about the murder of one of the leaders of the 'Ndrangheta Mafia group. I'll tell you more about it later.
Right now I'm banned from visiting the San Siro Stadium, but you know my life is Curva Nord. I'm ready to die for this idea, ready to die for these values.
And what do you do for a living? Do you have any profession here in Milan?
Listen, I spent 13 years in prison, plus I have a 4-year probation. What kind of job can I have? In my life, I've done a lot of things. Mostly, I was responsible for security in Milan's nightclubs. Now I work where the state tells me. At the moment, a sewing company.
Listen, what's happening now in the rivalry between Inter and Milan? I mean the fans.
In the 80s, it was intense here, probably like all over Europe. It got to the point where we had shootouts at the stadiums. Can you imagine that? It didn't end at the stadium, it was just the beginning. Because then, all week, we would hunt each other down in the city. There were knives and bullets. And then it escalated to political violence based on right and left-wing ideas. But now times have changed. Milan used to be a city at the epicenter of crime emergence. Every poor neighborhood had its gangs, and at some point, the situation got out of control. And we, along with Milan fans, decided to make a non-aggression pact because people started dying and going to jail. We decided to stop it, and this pact is still in effect. We all live in the same city. Just imagine, we went to the same class, and one day I stabbed you because you support Milan. That's wrong. It had to stop. We are all from Milan, and we should protect our city, not kill each other on Sundays. That's why we made the pact, and thank God we managed to pass this pact on to new generations. Everyone understands this well. And you know, some might say that this pact was made just for business, to not harm it and not attract police attention. But that's not true. I want you to understand that the Mafia took advantage of this pact, not the non-aggression, 100%. But I don't want to know anything about it, period. I'm from the Ultras movement, not the Mafia.
In recent years, several groups of Ultras Inter Milan have split from or left Curva Nord. But after the death of Vittorio Boiocchi, the leader of Curva Nord in 2022, a statement was published and all the groups reunited under one banner. Curva Nord Milan 1969. Now all these fans gather here at one of the stands behind the San Siro Stadium's goal. And they make the atmosphere at the stadium better than ever. You should come to Moscow sometime if you haven't been. It's a great city. I'll give you a tour of it.
I can't leave Italy. I'm still under charges. I don't know if this will ever end in my life.
And now I'll give you a tour of a cult place for all Inter fans. Carrozzeria Inter. Look how it's decorated. This is where Inter fans change their wheels. Here's the Inter logo right at the beginning. By the way, you can't step on it, I think, like in all stadiums. Alex, do you speak English? When did you open this auto repair shop?
It happened back in 1961.
Did your father open it?
Yes, my father was the founder.
So you're continuing the tradition and your son works here?
Yes, of course. He handles the repair work. Let's meet my father, the founder of this auto repair shop.
Hello, Vittorio. My name is Alex.
Hello, Alex. It's great that you came here to film for a Russian channel. You're like a citizen of the world here. Welcome to Milan. In 1961. I was 19 years old. My brother and I were fixing a car. It wasn't our first order, and we were already thinking about opening an auto repair shop. And what to name it? There wasn't much to think about because we were both fans of Inter. And just in 1961, Juventus stole the championship from us. Umberto Agnelli, curse him, it's impossible to forget. And naming the auto repair shop in honor of our favorite club was kind of a response to this injustice.
On April 16th, 1961, at the Torino Comunale Stadium, the two championship leaders met. Juventus, at the top of the standings, hosted Milan's Inter. The gap between the teams was small and nothing was decided yet. In the 31st minute of the match, fans started running onto the field because the stadium stands simply couldn't hold all the spectators. Such was the excitement. The referee was forced to stop the game and lead the teams into the locker room. The match was never completed and Juventus was awarded a technical defeat. Then the tournament situation developed so that Inter caught up with Juventus in points by the end of the last round, but Juventus president Umberto Agnelli pressured the Italian Football Federation and they overturned the technical defeat decision and scheduled a rematch with Inter. Accordingly, Inter had too fewer points and moved to second place. In protest against the federation's decision, Inter sent a youth team to the rematch in Turin. The result was predictable, 9-1, and Juventus became the champion. Since then, Inter fans have claimed that the championship was simply stolen from them, which is actually true, and there are many photos here, many stories. It's just like a museum, really. And these are the flags that were hung here over many seasons when Inter won their championships, and look at how many different car models there are here. Also presented are very cool metal ones. In general, I'm thrilled. By the way, did you know that in Italy, the process of registering a new car usually takes up to 30 minutes because there are a huge number of agencies here that will handle all the paperwork and save you the hassle, leaving you to enjoy another espresso at a table like this. But there's one nuance. If the car is used, you'll have to find out its history yourself. And believe me, that can take quite a bit of time. In Russia, it's much simpler. If you want to find out the history of a used car, you can do it on Avto.ru. And it's completely free, literally with one call. So, here's how it works. We go into the Avto.ru app. Here in the app, we select a used car. Then we look for an ad with this mark, Free Car History. Then we call the seller to clarify all the questions we're interested in. And after talking to the seller, a report on this car will come to our personal account in the app. As you can see, it's quite simple. In Avto.ru reports, data is collected from both open and closed sources. Here you can find all the information to make an important decision for yourself. This is information about accidents, maintenance, whether the car was used in car sharing or as a taxi. In general, there's a lot of interesting stuff here. And it's great that everything is organized neatly. Sections with brief descriptions. So follow the link in the description of this video and learn the car's history on Avto.ru completely free with just one call. Truly immersing oneself in the world of ultras is not that easy. It's always behind closed doors to journalists. Ultras group members don't like to speak on camera and certainly don't reveal secrets. And to better understand this environment, you need to talk to those who have been studying the topic for a long time. In Milan, I managed to find such a person. He wrote a book about Italian ultras culture called I Ribelli dalle Stadi, in which he recounted everything that happened with the movement from the very beginning and on. Unfortunately, this book has not been translated into Russian, but if you know Italian, you can easily order it online. Believe me, it's a treasure trove of the most incredible and fascinating stories about the Italian ultras movement.
I was born in Bari, I'm 47 years old, and I've been working as a journalist for over 20 years. I started with news, then moved to the newspaper Della Sport, where I began writing about football. The world of ultras appeared in Italy in 1968. Back then, it was filled with students and workers, ordinary people from the public who were eager to change something in this world. And by the way, the first ultras group in Italy appeared right here in Milan. It was called Forza dei Leone del Milan. And a year later, Inter also had its own ultras group. We still know it as Boys. Speaking of Inter fans, besides boys, they also had a powerful group called Vikings. They appeared later, but left a very bright mark in Ultras culture, mainly through violence in stadiums and city streets.
In recent decades, a troubling trend has developed in Milan related to the Ultras and the Italian Mafia. The fact is that Mafia clans have started to control the stands of Inter and Milan, increasingly embedding their people among the general mass of fans. The reason for this is a profitable business in the gray zone related to parking spaces near the stadium, selling merchandise and tickets at inflated prices. All these schemes became public knowledge in September 2024, when the Italian police seriously took up the case after the murder of a member of a Mafia family. And it was none other than the leader of the Inter stand, Andrea Beretta, who killed him.
Yes, it really happened and caused a huge resonance. An investigation began and many members of the Ultras group were arrested. Plus, the police tried to figure out how the Mafia started influencing the business around the San Siro stadium. And I think they managed to make progress in this investigation. One of the Italian Mafia families infiltrated the Inter stands and wanted to take over the dark business run by the Ultras groups. This is what led Andrea Beretta to kill one of the Mafia family representatives. Then the police started unraveling all this, and facts with schemes surfaced, showing how the Ultras profited from reselling match tickets. It turned out that millions of euros were being spun right under the police's nose, and they either didn't know about it or just didn't want to notice. In one of the wiretaps conducted for this case, Andrea Beretta says that he is not interested in the game or any passion, only money. This whole story resonated greatly among the rest of the organized Italian fan base. Many groups released official statements with banners in the stadiums. The real Ultras are against all this nonsense, and it's just vile to use the Ultras idea to make money. That's why Andrea Beretta got what he deserved. He'll either stay in prison for a long time, or most likely be killed by the relatives of the mobster he took down.
Fans prefer not to talk about this story now, but it's obvious that the problem of Ultras' connections with the Mafia hasn't gone away. New people are just coming onto the scene, and we might soon read about them in police reports. I'm walking through the city and suddenly, bam! There's a procession of Germans. Everyone's heading to the stadium. Organized, quite a few of them came actually. So friends, I'm heading to the San Siro stadium. Quarter-final match, Inter versus Bayern, Champions League. Inter won the first match. Today everything will be decided for a place in the semi-finals. By the way, Inter and Bayern have already met in the Champions League. This happened a year after the triumphant season for the Italians, where they defeated the Germans in the final and lifted the main European trophy. Then they met in the round of 16. Bayern took revenge and won away with a score of 2-1. They just had to hold the advantage in the home match, which took place on March 15th, 2011 at the Allianz Arena.
We lost the first match at home with a score of 0-1 and went to Munich to make a comeback, and I must say it was a very strong Bayern. They had a phenomenal lineup, so we arrive in Munich, drink with some Germans, then fight with them and then go to the stadium together. We go under the stands to buy beer, come back, and Sneijder has already made it 2-2. In the 90th minute, Pandev scores the third, and we jump into the quarterfinals at the last moment. It was just incredible. In the stands, the guys are lighting flares, it's hard to breathe. I really started to suffocate, and I think to myself, can you really die after such a victory? Everything turned out fine, of course, but I would like to experience something similar in the upcoming match with Bayern, only this time at San Siro.
The teams are heading to the match. My friends, let me tell you about a very interesting thing. I bought tickets here for Inter Bayern through the Viagogo service, and I want to tell you that they print not your name on your ticket when you buy it. And you might have problems at the entrance. Fortunately, my experience with stadium lists allowed me to be here now, but it's quite possible that if you just back out, you might end up outside the stadium having paid a good amount for it. So always check your details on the ticket when you buy it for European matches, I mean. The Champions League anthem. Welcome to San Siro, we're here. What's your name? Carlo, my name is Alex. Where are you from? Moscow. From Moscow. Inter. Yes, I support Inter. Mir Olimpiadic is here. He didn't transfer to CSKA, he's drinking beer at the San Siro Stadium and he doesn't care at all. What's the difference? Venture, well, Inter wins this two-legged tie. And advances to the semi-finals of the Champions League, and we stay with San Siro, and San Siro So, friends, I'm somewhere in the northwest of Milan. The area is called Camasino, and now I've arrived at a tournament held between Inter and Milan fans. It's weekly. They meet here. It's an example of how Inter and Milan fans don't have serious clashes with each other now, but Tano? Hello? So, where are we going now?
We're going to the stadium, a small sports complex where my friends play. It's just 1 kilometer from here. Let's go. It's a friendly cup, like a friendly tournament. We just gather here, fans of Inter and Milan, and play against each other. We sort things out here and leave all the negative energy that builds up towards each other right here.
Has anyone ever told you that you look like Eric Cantona? That's probably his favorite character, Eric Cantona.
This is a small football center. I'll show you everything now. There are many fields here. We play here every Saturday. We pay 410 euros per hour. We usually rent the field for 3 hours.
Who's the best player here? Can you show me?
Gaetano is number 1, of course. There he is, running.
And also Carlo.
To be honest, Carlo drinks beer, but he plays well. If he didn't drink, he'd definitely be the best. There he is, number 10. He's 60 years old.
I take it there aren't many young guys here. Mostly old school running around.
Yeah, from different generations actually. There's Lorenzo, he's pretty good. Roberto, number 2, never misses a game, so he looks like an athlete.
Anna, what do you do? How do you make a living?
I'm a business consultant.
Oh, really? Interesting job, I guess.
Many different companies come to me, and they all have different situations. There's no ready-made recipe here. Taxes are very high. You pay about 40% of your income, plus the competition is very high. Meet my friend Paolo. Hi. I came to watch my son play. That's him, number 8.
And what's your profession? What do you do besides coming to football? How do you make a living?
I'm a lawyer.
A lawyer? Are you a criminal lawyer? Yes, exactly. Can you tell us about an interesting case recently?
No, that always stays between the lawyer and the client.
You also have to consider that he's playing in boots against me, not in sneakers like I am, which are more or less comfortable. He's kicking in boots.
Nice.
Game, you say, yeah,
You're already in boots. How long have you been an Inter fan? Since the 80s. Yeah, I'm 61, 45 years. I'm an Inter fan, but my father is a Milan fan. But my father was an Inter fan, a very big Inter fan. He had a season ticket for 48 years. Wow! In this video, we attempted to delve into the hidden world of Italian football fans. It's certainly much deeper and more interesting than an average person might imagine. It includes people of different professions and ages, united by one common passion. Perhaps now, once you find yourself at one of the Italian stadiums, you'll see the atmosphere around you differently. This is Unseen Football. Follow the game with us. Bye.